Yoshiko from Cooking with Yoshiko. Today I'm in my kitchen and I will show you how to make salt and pepper tofu, which is everybody's favorite, right? So, here are the ingredients. Tofu, you can use firm tofu or silken firm. Silken firm is also called a pressed silken and original tofu. Basically, slightly firmer than a silken tofu, yet still have a silky texture, which is my favorite. But my husband likes firm tofu or even hard tofu, so it's up to you. But I don't recommend you to use silken tofu unless you're a super good cook, because the silken tofu is very soft, so easy to break. And these are the flour mixture. So 1 tablespoon of mixed peppercorn, but you can just use a black peppercorn if you like, and 1 tablespoon of the sea salt, and 2 tablespoons of wholemeal flour or plain flour, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And some garnishes and oil for the deep frying. I'm using the extra virgin sesame oil today, which is a healthiest option for deep frying. First thing you need to do is to drain the tofu lightly. I have been draining the tofu by putting the tofu on the plate and letting stand for 10 to 20 minutes. You can see some water here. You know, when you deep fry tofu, removing excess water is one of the most important things. You know, water and hot oil is not a good combination. So I am going to remove the water here and slide it in and cut into cubes. Now let's make a flour mixture. Ground the peppercorn in a food processor. But you know that you can use a mortar and pestle or a grinder, or if you don't have any of them, you can just use the Ziploc bag and the rolling pin. You can just put the peppercorn and just, you can do that, but it's noisy and it takes time, so I'm gonna use this one today. Then sea salt and the flour and the cornstarch. And the final serious things. And the final grinding here. I like using the food processor because the mixture is going to be well mixed. If you don't mix well in this stage, your tofu won't have an even taste. You know, some parts would be salty and some parts are tasteless. Now it's time to cook. So firstly, get ready for the plate with a kitchen paper. And also that we drain a little bit, but we want to pat dry the tofu just before we deep fry. Okay, and here we go. I'm just patting dry here. Okay, then I am going to heat oil in the fry pan slowly over low heat. I'm gonna heat the oil very slowly because I don't want this oil to be hot very quickly. So while we slowly heating up the oil, I'm gonna dust the tofu with this flour mixture. Remember, the hot oil and the water is a bad combination, so just like this. And before you put it, you have to shake very well because we don't wanna deep fry the flour. If you do this process too early, the tofu will become wet. So key is to do this process just before frying. Okay, final dusting and the key is not to touch for 1 minute. Because if you try to touch, what's gonna happen? And you're gonna break the tofu and the water just release it and splash into your face. So, patient. If you want to make this gluten-free, you can use rice flour instead of flour. Or my favorite gluten-free mix is actually combination of potato starch and rice flour. So we're gonna cook until golden. If you use the firm tofu, it's very, very, substantial. It's good for them having a beer, but I don't take the alcohol. So, but anyway, I know I'm healthy. So now it's nice and golden color. So I just shake a little bit and drain on the kitchen paper. Put a little bit of the coriander as a garnish, and some limes and chili to finish off. That's it! Salt and pepper tofu. Enjoy! Many people think that the deep fried food is unhealthy. Yes, if you eat, in a restaurant, because the restaurant use the oil again and again, so oxidize, and that creates the trans fat and crop your earthly, so that's bad. But this is the least oxidation and the clean oil. So enjoy your salt and pepper tofu without any health risk. Enjoy! Bye!